Hi everybody, I'm back. I start carrying away, you know, when I'm starting this wreath, and I'm actually on to the second row already and onto the mesh. So I thought I'd better hurry up and make this video before I end up finishing this wreath. When I get on a roll, boy, I'll tell you, I get on this roll and I end up finishing it, and I didn't want to do this in this case. So what I did, okay, we did the first row around, okay, and now I'm on the mesh. So as you can see, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals already. But you see how I'm overlapping a little bit? But here's the guide that I'm using. I'm using my green petal in the back, okay? So I've already pre-made my petals, okay? And I've got my zip tie in the back. I find that in this case, it really works out really well. So I'm gonna bring my camera down so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, so here's how I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm using my green petal as my guide, okay, to where my petal is gonna sit here. So I take my zip tie and, you know, I kind of go, okay, well, there's my petal right here. So I'm gonna put my zip tie just in front of it, okay? And I'm gonna try and be as even as possible with the one beside it. I gotta come down maybe a couple notches here. Yeah. So it doesn't look like it when you're first doing it that you're in that right spot, because your petal's kind of moving around. However, here's how it goes. So I'm using, just like before, I'm using 2 holes in my mesh, okay? So I always have one in between. So I'm actually using 3 holes. So I go 1, 2, 3, and the one in the middle is blank, okay? So I'm actually putting my zip tie in the third hole on my mesh. So from here, I've got it in my zip tie, and I'm just gonna pull on that so that it goes right down right onto my mesh. I hope you guys can see that. So from here, I'm just gonna cut off the zip tie close to as much to the petal as possible. I'm not gonna go right all the way to the head of it because I don't want to cause any undue fraying here. So again, I'm gonna take the next one, and here's my guide is I'm in front of that petal. So I'm gonna put my zip tie right in front of that green, okay? Because you know, we're kind of overlapping. If you can see now, you know, like how this is going, okay? So I got one petal here, one petal here. So same kind of thing. So I'm putting it in front of the green. And I guess I'm going about maybe 4 squares down from the bar. But we got to remember as well that I wasn't on completely against the bar with my mesh. I was a little short. So you could probably say, you know, 5 squares from the bar. So see how easy it is? You just to pull it, and it's already in, you know, position for your edges to be, you know, in that right place. So we'll do a couple more for you. I'm almost done this row. So the next row, okay, essentially is the same thing. We're gonna go in between these petals, but what happens is when the further in you go, okay, the more that your little circle is shrinking. So you gotta remember that, you know, you're gonna add less petals, you know, as you're going into the middle. But I'm only seeing 1 more row on here, and that's gonna be it. But like I said, I think I'm gonna finish it with the yellow petal. It'll be nice. So then, you know, I just kind of fix it up, you know, fluff it up a little bit. Try not to touch it too much. Oh, I need a petal. So I'll just do a couple more for you. I hope you guys can see this. It looks a little far for me, but you know, it's probably okay for you guys. So, you know, there's my green. I can just barely see it in between these petals, but I'm gonna put my zip tie right in front of that. So yeah, it gives me about 4 little squares in front of it. And with all this mesh, you know, that's been burnt and, you know, it's kind of sitting there, it is a little bit, it can be a little bit annoying, but don't worry about it. It'll, it all comes out in the wash, as they say. So this row is almost done. And I'm counting my minutes, so we're at 5 minutes, so I might be able to finish this row with you guys, which should be good. I'd like to do that. I'm trying to keep my videos short for you guys, folks. I don't want you sitting here for half an hour every time, you know. I mean, that gets a little bit lengthy for everybody. Okay, so it looks like I've only got a couple petals to go here, and then we're going to be in the middle. Maybe a little bit more. The more I look at it, they go, maybe not. So, on that note, I wonder if I should start a new one after this. Now, folks, I want you guys to know that when I started my videos, I was in a position with my camera. And I'm going to redo all of those petals because I think it's important that, you know, you guys see it properly. And with that, I don't think that you guys can see it, you know, good enough for you to follow. So it's probably why I'm getting so many questions on, you know, what is it that I'm doing. So this is odd. It's very odd. I'm seeing the back here and I'm going, what's going on here? I know I'm close. I know I'm close. Yeah. Okay. Come on. My zip tie doesn't want to go in its head. There it goes. All right. So I've reached my last petal, and this is where I take my edge one and I put it over top of it. So then I have a consistent, all of my edges are all going the right way, right? It's nice and clean and, you know, all the way around. So I've got all my petals in here. So I think it's time to make a yellow. Do I have a yellow? Oh, I do. I got one cut yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside just for a second. I don't want to mess it up. It's getting heavy. Okay. Hey, one thing I wanted to show you guys. You know how when you're burning and you're burning on your glass? I just cleaned my glass and I used the Lysol wipes. You know, those Lysol wipes, or, you know, I think you guys can get Clorox wipes. Boy, does that ever come off? All those little marks, you know, it leaves a line, you know, from the plastic. So, yeah, a little tip for you. Okay, and if I'm scratching my head a lot, it's because I get mosquitoes and I'm being eaten by deer flies. Remember, I live in the country. Anyway, so edge on top, and then we grab the corners and we bring it down, okay, and we make a triangle. Okay, we're back at the triangle. Nice crisp corners, okay, and then we're gonna scrunch this up. Okay, and this now, I'm not gonna need to use two zip ties here. I'm only going to have to use one. And of course I'm not prepared, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between two of these petals, and I'm going to come ahead, half an inch. I'd say half an inch. I'm going to do a half an inch in front of there, a good half inch in front of the petal itself, okay? Not the zip tie, in front of the petal. Now I'm going to take my petal, which kind of distorted in my hand here. All right, and I'm going to just put that in there. I'm going to tie that off. Here we go with those big zip ties. Ooh, that looks nice. I like that, folks. The yellow on the top. Wow. This looks really sharp. Now, I don't have any petals that are cut, but there you go. Oh, that looks really sharp. I'm just going to put the camera up so that you guys can see a little better. There we go. Hey, you're not so technically challenged today. It was this morning, but as the day goes by. So anyway, look at that, folks. So I'm going to finish this. I don't know how many. I think maybe, I'd say I'm going to have 1, 2, maybe six petals there. I'm not going to try and cram it in too much, but I do have an overlap here, so I kind of want to do the same thing in the middle. But the thing is that, you know, the more I put in there, the more, you know, crammed this is going to get. So I'm really liking this Angela wreath. My gosh, this is beautiful. And so I'm going to cut it here, and then we'll come back to finish this wreath. I'm going to finish, you know, my petals here, and then we'll come and do the middle and put the back on, and she's ready to go. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck with your wreath, and God bless.